No,
Hey,
we couldn't
you
afford
know,
a
talking
party.
about funding things for the NSL, this man needs a new pair of shoes. Show me those shoes.
Now I really, I think,
What size are you?
I think now I really need them
What size
because
are you?
she just killed it. No,
Oh,
with that
oh my
hike,
God, she didn't do that.
yeah, she
Course
took me.
not.
She took me on a very challenging.
What size are you?
8.5, 9, something like that.
Pair of shoes.
But you know, Joey has promised me that now for like I don't know, for 2 weeks, and nothing is. Oh, by the way, we're doing NSL live talk here, okay? Sorry,
I don't know why you're including me in this.
we are on record, okay? I'm not gonna- I'm not gonna edit this.
Okay,
all right.
great. Hey, he needs a new
So-
pair of shoes. Let's
so-
start a GoFundMe right now.
So all the
And
things
I
about
heard-
Speedy that we said before
And
is
then-
also on record.
Oh gosh.
And your ex-wife.
that's on you. That's not on us.
I may reconsider the editing part.
But I told her. He's recording everything.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's begin officially. I have the honor to introduce the new Arizona Airspeed lineup because there have been changes instantly after the end of the competition. Martina Vavakova from the Czech Republic. She has been one of the greatest talents in the four-way competition world recently, and she will change her citizenship, like other people do that, become a U.S. citizen, and then behind the scenes we know that Airspeed is looking for the future anyway. So this is Martina. She is.
Hi.
No?
Yeah, hey, no
Yes.
problem. I'm retiring, and I'm happy to announce the new person.
Well, here's one thing. He is not retiring. I'm retiring, and she is a new anchor for the NSL News. So I will just listen now, and Martina will ask all the questions. Anyway, Arizona Airspeed with NSL News anchor Martina Vavakova a day after the World Championship and the first set of gold medals for everybody except for Niklas. Martina, fire away.
Well, I think you're gonna ask some questions as well, right? It's
Oh,
not gonna
maybe.
be up to Lichas only.
Maybe they will talk without questions. Maybe
Oh,
that
yeah,
is
maybe.
Oh, we can do
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Especially
yeah.
these guys.
Congratulations! That's a really amazing result.
Thank you.
So yeah, like, what are your impressions?
Well, I mean, we had a great World Championships out here at home in Arizona. That was a whole experience doing. For me, it was my first World Championships, and I suppose I had it a little bit easy because it was a home World Championships. At our home drop zone here in Eloy. It ran well, and we were able to walk away with the meet pretty comfortably. But at the same time, we got to see some very promising teams as well that will make the entire four-way drama very exciting for the next 2 years.
Okay, actually, let's get back to the thing you mentioned that it was easier for you because it was at home. Is it really true that it's easier when it's at home? Like, isn't it like
Not
more
necessarily. Not necessarily. Yeah, that's a good point. It's easy. It's on paper. It's easier. There are some things that are harder when you're traveling, and sometimes that makes it easier. If that makes sense. So like. Teams tend to be really well aligned when they're traveling because they have to be, like we're traveling together in a pack. And when we're at home, it's easier for us to actually not be aligned. So, but I thought we did a great job staying in alignment the entire competition. But that is something that we had to, not take for granted.
Yeah, I agree with everything he has said. I think it's, for me, harder to compete at home. But we also talked about it in training, and we had a plan set in place to be more aligned. Because when you travel, it's very easy to be on already. Because, like you said, we travel as a pack, we stay in new places, and you're dependent on each other. Stay in the same house, have a rental car. All those things are happening together. And while at home, we have our own lives. But I thought we did it really, really well, but it was harder. even when we have US nationals here, sometimes I think it's easier to perform when you're on the road than it is at home. That's my take.
You're definitely more on edge when you're in a foreign environment.
Yeah.
Does it feel for you like that? I mean, you competed here with your Czech national forward team in Korea Open. Does it feel exactly as they say? Now you're already excited.
Yeah, like partially, definitely. On the other hand, it's a different type of aircraft, different exits probably a little bit, and if you don't have enough training from the same airplane, it can be challenging. Also, the jet lag, can play a role. If you come just only a couple of days before the comp, which was our case, we came just only 2 days before the competition. So still, like, even if I think I managed to jet lag very well, it still played a role. I was definitely happy with the early starts. It would help.
The other thing is the distraction, because we know everyone here. The pilots to the ground crew to all the staff. And all that for me, it's just like I'm more anonymous when I go somewhere else. And now here, you have a lot more people interacting with you, which drains your energy way more.
Yeah, I actually wanted to ask what your plan was for like keeping it together and not getting distracted by all those people. I believe also like a lot of people came around just to visit to have a look.
There is no plan. You have to know yourself and you have to know what you need, because we can say that it's all a distraction, but really there's so much warmth and love and support going around, right? Just our team room here. Right? We had our 4-way team, we had the 8-way team, we had the female 4-way team in here. It wasn't busy in there, right? Yeah. So, but hey, if you know what you need, if that drains you, great, remove yourself. If it energizes you, be in that environment. Use it to your advantage. I mean, the whole thing is just about knowing the pros and cons and what we have to respect, right? We have to respect that we have to take time to stay together in a line, but at the same time, you're on the ride up to altitude. I don't even have to look. I know where I am. Like corner of my eye, I know where I am.
Of course,
I know what the spot is, or these guys know what the spot is, because they're more closer to the door more often. In my own bed, in my own house, eating the food I normally eat.
True, yeah.
So you have to look at the whole package and take advantage of the advantages and handle the liabilities.
So, for example, like all of you went home like every evening and then came back to drop zone in the morning, or did anybody prefer to stay here, maybe to get less distracted or something? How far do you live from the drop zone?
7 minutes.
7 minutes.
That's pretty good. Yeah,
If you want. Mikael and I live in Casagrande, which is about 25 minutes. I would say,
That's
right?
not that bad.
And you in 1 minute, you.
Depends where I park.
No, but I also feel like it's the plan is also for me sometimes to show up early, so when teams come and arrive early, that you get the social aspect out of the way early enough. So when the last few days before the competition, you had a minimal amount of new people I haven't seen you in a year, because it drains a lot. You have to catch up with a lot of people, saying hello to a lot of people. I'm excited to see people. They're excited to see me. So if I'm out here doing all that early, the earlier, the more I'm kind of ready to focus.
Yeah, the more time you have.
Yeah, and then if you show up the day before and you have to do all that stuff, it drains you because you are excited to see these people. But that's also another thing.
It's a shock factor even in places that you're very comfortable with. Yeah. When we were in Skydive Chicago for nationals, I spent 3 years there, so I'm very comfortable in the place, but I still needed a couple of days to emotionally process being back there. Like it's you just need time.
Okay, so
That's it.
So let's get closer to the competition actually. So as for the overall result, like, did you expect it? Like, did you expect to win this comp? Did you come for a win?
Of course. I mean, that's we come for every competition to win. I mean, every competition we're going to be out there swinging for the fences. So, I think what you're asking is like, are you asking like, did you expect the scores and how the playing field?
Well, first of
played out?
all, I'm asking about kind of comparison with the other teams, like whether you are quite confident that you would win this event.
Well, I mean, we did see some scores leading up to it, right? So we, especially with Belgium, they synced their nationals with the U.S. nationals draw.
Okay.
So we actually got to see a jump by jump comparison 6 weeks before the World Meet.
Yes,
So
we actually knew.
so yeah, so we had an idea of where the point spread was going to be.
And same. Actually, no. I'll correct that. The French had a nationals, but they had a different draw. But we'll still look at the.
But
look at the.
For me, I mean, I don't know. It's a sense where you have to be confident as an athlete in yourself, but you also have to be respectful to the competition because they work just as hard as you do. And I know a lot of people like, this is your year, bring home the sword, blah, blah, blah. And they're excited for us. I'm excited. But you also have to be very, you have to respect the competition and be humble. Because in the end of the day, anything can happen. And if you count your chickens before they hatch, I think you're going to shoot yourself in the foot eventually. And I feel like even though we understood the point spread and we understood the difference there, I think we wanted to just have a great meet for ourselves. I wanted to track away and be like, dude, that's a great skydive. I don't care what it ends up being.
Okay. And that's what I wanted to ask then afterwards. Actually, what was my second, kind of the second part of the question, whether you were happy with the stories and whether you really, like, after every jump had this feeling, yeah, this was the jump that you wanted to have.
You're never gonna get that after every single skydive.
Of course,
have
but,
a draw with
like, mostly.
a draw with a lot of good stuff, some okay stuff, and some stuff you're really unhappy about. And we kind of had that at this event. The draw was slow. The draw was technical.
Yeah.
So some stuff didn't feel good by definitions. There's just not, this kind of is not going to feel very good.
Yeah, it's just going to be slow.
We did the best we could. Yeah, and in the end, personally, I was surprised with the final score. I did not expect a 26-1 in the end because we had a 25-something at nationals, and this draw felt a lot worse.
Yeah, you beat average at the nationals actually.
But I think I can answer that because at nationals we just wanted a technical performance.
That's right. The attitude was different.
And that technical execution is what we wanted. And then we wanted to take that technical performance here to the World Meet and put a little bit more electricity on it.
Yeah, speed it up.
Yeah, and I think we did that.
We did it.
Yeah, I think round one was not nearly as good as we would have expected. And I feel like I can honestly say there were some nerves that kept us from getting a higher score. But then round 3, 4, and 5, not as 2, 3, and 4, I feel like we killed it.
Yeah. Same thing with 5 coming
Yeah.
from the 2 exit.
Yeah,
That was a great jump as well.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
think there was a few jumps maybe. If I were to put a generalization, excluding round 1, I would say we probably had really good stuff on the flat. There were a few rounds later in the meet where I think we could have done a little bit better out the door, but that's about it. I mean, even looking at Hayabusa, they were fantastic out the door. Actually, you know, some of their stuff was lightning fast out the door compared to us.
So if you look at them where the freeze frame was, if you added 1 second to the freeze frame, we would have gotten the freeze frame, or we would have gotten the point after. And that's already 3 or 4 points right there. And then if you then clean up the 4 on the hill, maybe the 6 and the 18 on the hill, and then after that you would have now been in the mid 26 something. So, and that's always the case. you know.
Yeah,
We're always
you
adding,
always see,
we're
see
always
where the
adding
points
10
are,
points to our score because we always, it's so easy for
But
10 points.
but are you on the right side? Like if you look at round number 9 with 8.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
8.
Yeah.
QOH.
So Hayabusa just finished the H before the 8. We were finishing the 8 and on our way to the Q. So you're on the right side of the block, which is you're on the right side of the random sprint. And you got 4 points laying there, but only less than maybe 2 seconds. You know what I'm saying? While the other team would have to fly another 3 seconds to score. You see? So we, at this meet, we were on the right side of that on a lot of freeze frames. On the 11K, we didn't get the K, but then it would have been, it was 17. We got the 17 and then the K.
17K, 11.
K was built, we didn't get it. The 12 was built, we didn't get it. But then right after the K was the 11, so that would have maybe been a second, and we would have got 2 points.
Oh yeah.
So we find ourselves on the right side of things. So the next average, 27, is laying very close, based on where we ended on the freeze frames throughout the whole meet.
Okay. So that's your next goal, right? 27 average.
Also, yeah, I mean that would have been a flawless meet. It's never a flawless meet, like he said, but we can taste it. And if you look at the freeze frames, you look at where we're in the pacing of things, and where we can clean it up, then it's definitely doable.
You also have to respect the fact that the average is not really a meaningful metric anymore.
Yeah.
The difference between a slow draw and a fast draw, it can be 30, 40, 50 points.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
you really have to break it. You really have to break it down into the pieces that compose the performance, and not worry about that final average as much.
I mean, if you take a super sequence out of the skydive, so Hayabusa did a 27.9 in 2018, and they scored a world record of 62. You take the 62 out of it, which means you hit them a 35.
And
now they're in the 25th average.
the
and
unofficial
then,
record that we had in 2020,
29.3.
right? It was a 29.3, but realistically, we were somewhere in the 25s as a team.
Yes, we had a
fair enough.
57, and
Yeah.
then we had a 40.
Yeah.
And if you take the super sequences out of it, they're all about the same averages for the top teams. You know?
Yeah.
And that would be a fair comparison.
That's why we need all the teams together with the same draw at the same
At
place.
the same time.
And we're going to have that again at the Shamrock. As it looks, all the top 4, same top 4,
Yeah.
have confirmed the date and the location at the time. So I'm excited about this already by now. But that's that's the situation. Absolutely, averages are not comparable.
Unless we did the same sequence all the time, that would be so
Yeah.
boring.
I'm done. I'm out of here.
That was before they changed it in 1985. That was the case. We knew exactly. There were set sequences and randoms, and we knew all the set sequences.
I would love the idea of what Bedford did, right? Where we knew there would be a fast sequence. I would love to have that because that's fun.
It is.
I would so much. It's so much more fun and high pressure and enjoyable to earn 60 points on a skydive instead of busting your ass for 20. It's way better.
Yeah, but that's also like mentally challenging, right? You need to compose yourself because when you screw up on this jump, then
And
Like,
you get
absolutely.
20 points behind.
for
that's
me,
it.
that's the best thing in the world. At this meet, it was the 17 jump.
Mhm.
I really felt pressure on that jump, and it was a fantastic jump. And combining the high pressure with a fantastic jump is like I can't ask for anything better. Or all the tight races that we've ever had. That's the stuff I remember. That's the stuff I cherish.
So it brings the situation that the team is solidly performing, in the other 9 rounds. You have to give them credit, of course, for a solid performance in the 9 rounds. Can lose the whole meet. Why don't we just do 1 round then? Only randoms, and that's what's
There
there.
you go.
So that's a risk of that.
And in a way, the world meet is 10 round ones. It's much
Yeah, exactly,
slower.
yeah. Yeah.
So that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can have a team underperforming most of the meet, but they kill the random
Yeah,
round and they win.
That's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
really,
Yeah,
that's not
then-
fair.
It is possible.
Then the 10%, the one round wins the.
Yeah, that's
the
not fair to
90% is forfeited.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, there's ups and downs and pros and cons. So I guess we just leave it the way it is. Paul Mayer, good idea it was, but we're not changing the rules yet. Not for World Championships at least. I think we are, gosh, we could continue. Martina, what a fantastic job you're doing here. But we are already approaching your sleeping time, probably.
I get cranky at about 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay, can I get two more questions?
Yes, you absolutely, because I love to listen to your questions and see them answered.
Okay, well, one question. I'm looking at the scoreboard here, and what I have to point out, you had just only one bust in the first round, and all the other rounds were clear. That's an amazing job. Like, our team had 20 busts altogether. Really, that was horrible. How are you guys doing it?
We paid off the judges. Sorry, guys. The dollar is strong and people are taking
Money's in the bank. Oh, wait, no, what money?
Sonic is doing that. It's much easier to do it this way.
We have so much money, we don't know what to do with it all. Just take
I have a
it.
0 here, a 0 here. Oh, hey, that's another 0.
Was it
it's-
maybe the strategy that you followed actually, that during the nationals you went pretty,
It's time together. It's time together. So if you study the skydives and if you ask us, we didn't like the way that certain things felt. So
Okay.
things felt rough,
Mhm.
but because we've done 2,000 jumps together and some ridiculous amount of tunnel time, we have a rapport, an intuition. So even though things are dirty, we can still stay together.
And the answer
that's
lies
the difference.
also, the same answer as Hayabusa. They used to never bust for the same reason, but now their new team has more busts. And
oh, they have like 5, okay.
yeah, but they
Yeah,
have more
it's
than before.
significant.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
significant.
And they're also going at a slower pace. You know, if you try to go fast like the French team, you're gonna have more busts. But Hayabusa is very methodical, and they don't chance any in a way where everything is structured and
Yeah.
technical. And 5 busts for that. If you look at some of the different style, like the French go for it more, they're gonna have more busts. But still, I feel like also, you know, we're very much trying to train ourselves of moving together. You know, and then,
So who's kind of the, maybe I should have known that, but who's the coach of the team? Or is it like coming from the cooperation of the team itself, or do you have an external coach time to time, or do you just
I
coach
think when it
yourself?
all started, I was more or less the coach of the team.
Yeah.
But very quickly we had Solly involved, and that was the second year. And after Solly, we had Joey Jones involved this year. And
Okay.
they come in as consultant, not to coach us as a team, but to add to the team. But really, as people grow on the team, we end up just coaching ourselves. So Joe and I are very much involved in the front piece, and Christopher and Mikael are very much involved in the back piece. But there was an evolution where actually my coaching was very positive for the team in the beginning, but then it kind of stands in the way because people grow and then they have to take over the process themselves. So I feel like as of right now, as a team, we're equally coaching ourselves and our pieces, and it's a collaboration, 100%
And we're
today.
And we're not just pulling it out of thin air. You know, it's about the material that's out there, what other teams are doing, what other teams have done. Right? Realistically, blocks haven't really changed in the last 10 years. they had not. It hasn't really accelerated much. We do things a little bit different, or maybe lighter instead of more physical. But
Block 10 is still the same way as it was in 1985 or whenever it came up. Nobody has changed.
so it's really leveraging the community, leveraging other people like Solid and Joey. Come in, tell us what we don't know. Tell us everybody's got blind spots.
Well, it's maybe just,
So-
No,
Yeah,
I was leaning on it. We actually have, as we're sitting here talking about it, we have a pretty large pool that we draw from to gain competency over the years. You know, like it first it started with your kind of lifetime experience, Nick, and then bringing in Solly as a consultant, We kind of discovered things with our own intuitive flying. We brought in Joey Jones, and he really cleaned up a lot of our blocks that we were having trouble with after several years. And then even Mikhail has developed a set of like software tools that can help us find our own blind spots using data. So we have a lot to draw from.
So what's it?
Jack Jeffries is more
He
than
only
on
unscrewed
the,
our
on
hands.
the
Yeah.
psychological, emotional level. Yeah, no, it's a big deal. Yeah.
It's so empty up there.
He is
We're
such
pretty
an
quick.
asset.
One session.
What a lovely, wonderful
Go
person.
win. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So what was your last like the most recent tweak and some techniques before the competition that you actually put
Block-
in, like
block
that
8,
you
block
introduced?
We talked about it.
13.
Timing.
timing.
Yeah.
Dude, it's just timing.
Yeah,
It's
that's all
no
that
technical
was.
thing. Things get corrupt technically, and when you really look at it, you try to fix it with more technique. But most of the time, at this level, it's timing.
Timing, yeah.
Timing.
Everything-
When do you do what you do?
So didn't you like completely change the technique
No.
of something?
So
that
some of
you've
the
been
things
trying?
actually regressed,
Mhm.
and then we're like, "What's happening?" And then when we, of course, started messing with it after nationals a little bit,
Yeah.
and then when we all agreed timing, and then voila, it was fixed.
If whack-a-mole is what 3x3, 4x4, I can't remember. Imagine having a massive table with all the little pieces that we always
Yeah.
have to manage, and things drift.
I would
And
say,
if we don't catch it,
I would say that we haven't changed a lot recently, but moving forward, and the thing that maybe we have changed, or we've constantly been trying to introduce, leading up to this meet, we have been focusing a lot on getting better at standard formations. So,
Mhm.
standard. But going forward, I'm sure that we're going to dabble into this again, and we as a team hit it all the time, is trying to grow our continuity or push the limits of the continuity. I think that is where you're going to see more changes than in the raw technique, because like you said, Block 7 hasn't changed much.
Mhm.
But if we can do different 15s where like Nick is on the cabinet, like, that's kind of cool.
The Canadian 15.
Yeah,
What is the
there's-
Canadian 15 actually?
Yeah. I mean, blocks are hard, right? So if you look at the way averages move, they're moving because of the ramp.
That's where they did this. They won the bronze medals in Paseo of 2014 with they were turning the 15s like block 7. They're cogging everything.
Okay, got it.
So the same turning directions as in block 7, except you're going from a cat to it.
But sometimes when you can't, sometimes people do different things because they had to find a solution because it couldn't work. And sometimes people, that's where you become. A lot of times things come out of desperation, and then you stumble upon new discoveries that way. No, but it's true, right?
It's absolutely true.
And like, this is not working for us. What can we do different? And then you find something that works for you, and you own the process. And that's when sometimes block 8 goes from cogging to shearing, then back to cogging.
Yes, perfect example for
Yeah,
that.
it's and then block 20 was forwards for a while for the centerpiece, and then backwards.
How about block 13? High grips, low grips. Oh my god.
Yeah.
No, but it's
Your son actually, yeah. So-
Every 4 weeks it changes.
no, but that is something that and for us, it's not just what's faster, but faster consistent. And some people want to go faster, but if one person on the team goes faster than the rest of the team, then the timing is broken. And then sometimes a technique when it works, is super fast, but it's it has a lot of liabilities. And then once it's slower 7 out of 10 times, but the 30% of the time is super fast, I wouldn't want to use it.
Yeah. Okay, so you mentioned timing, and you mentioned that you fixed the timing and everything else that fixed. How did you fix the timing? Like, did you focus more on the intermediate pictures, or how did you do that?
I think it's different for different blocks, but for block 8, as an example, it was kind of broken for us.
Okay.
And I think Mikhail fixed the timing on the back, and then we fixed the timing on the front. And it was just articulating who is the limitation in the first part of the block, and who is the limitation in the second part of the block. And And then once you understand that, 13, same thing. Who's the limitation on the 13 for the timing in the beginning for us? And then all eyes are on that one thing. So we're all on the same page on who sets the timing and what to look for. And then all of a sudden, those two things for us work. And then it's different for different blocks.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
there's two examples.
It goes back to your earlier point. A lot of what we do is back to basics. It's like imagine describing a block to somebody that's never even seen or just starting four-way, just total blank slate. And a lot of times we have to do that to ourselves because we get carried away with some fine detail that totally distracts us, you know, and we get lost in that detail. It's like, hey, back to high level. Well, what's the target here? What's the timing here?
Consistent targets makes consistent results, right? We went through that as that phase as a team where we were just not being very consistent, and we came together as a team and just reasserted that your eyes need to be in the same place on every block every time. Otherwise, you're not going to produce a consistent result. And you have to first identify what those targets are.
Okay, yeah, makes perfect sense. Yeah, so maybe the last question.
The last task.
Okay, the last. It's been more than two, right? Sorry.
No, that's perfect.
Okay, so your next.
By the way, you're doing way better.
Yeah, thank you. I agree. I totally agree.
Best interview ever.
Yeah, so
Less
yes.
drama, more four-way. I like it.
I'll never come back and do that again.
No, please. Okay, so the last question is, so your next meet that you're training for it is going to be the Shamrock Showdown, or
the U.S. Indoor Nationals at
US
Character
Indoor
XP
Nationals.
in February,
Okay, in
and then
February.
Shamrock has the outdoor.
Okay, so it's going to be like 4 months, right, or something like that, training. So
2 months off, 2 months training.
Okay, 2 months off.
Yeah.
Like, what does it look like? You don't do anything, like any jumps, any training at all, or
We work, of course, do
Okay,
big wave events.
Yeah.
All that, like, life continues, you know? What happens after you win? You got back to work. I was working at 4 a.m. today.
Champions are sitting at the table.
But we just need a break as a team. We have to pause. We have to recharge. We have to let things settle and marinate. Because some of the biggest breakthroughs and bursts of creativity come from just leaving it aside, just letting your actual intelligence work. You know.
We are scheduled already next year. We're scheduled all the way through the U.S. Nationals in the third week of September. So all our training is mapped out, and so everything is set.
Yeah, so maybe I'm asking more, like, I want to dive deeper into it, you know? So maybe what's your biggest event for the next year that you're training for, where you want to peak?
The Indoor World Championships.
Okay.
And then Boss.
And then Boss. Okay.
Because that's an indoor world meet and an outdoor World Cup. That's where we're going to have most of people around us. And then U.S. Nationals happens after that, which is a selection year for Israel 2024, but we don't really have any competition domestically. So the two, and we don't really have any competition domestically for the indoor meet either. So what we have is two international meets that and the Shamrock falls in the same category because it's also the top 4 teams in the world. So those are the 3 big meets that we're really focusing on. And then we have a bunch of, we're going to do the pre-nationals, Houston. And we're going to do some of those too, just to stay, current and, expose us to competition, to judging, to the public. But those are the 3 things.
Okay, so now you have 2 months off, and then when you start training again, so what's going to be the strategy leading to you peaking at that time where you want to peak?
We're going to break shit. No, we're going to break. We're going to go back and start R&D, a break, what's working, what's not working, and take a radical change. Because if we want to be successful in 2024, now it starts a new journey. So whatever we did 2 days ago That's old
That's,
news.
old
Yeah,
news.
old news. And we don't want to just add 2 years of training to that. We want to be different. You know, new uniforms, new techniques. But everything is for real. Break it.
Reinvent the whole
Okay.
thing.
Yeah.
Question.
That's cool.
Excuse me, do you know, is there anybody who has a key for the manifest?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
We're in the middle of the interview.
We're just proceeding an interview.
Excuse me.
We're gonna
He
be
is on an
TV.
interview. He knows actually. He just doesn't care. Wolfgang Güller, one of the chief judge of the indoor world meet last year. Wolfie, I'm sorry, I don't think we have access to the manifest, right?
No, we don't.
I definitely don't.
I would love to invite you to join our conversation, but I think we're coming to the end.
Yeah. My apartment is remember often.
So Martina, you did so well. I'm sure you also have the perfect conclusion of your NSL News live talk, right?
Okay, so again, like, thank you thank you so much for sharing some even some secret information I don't know, but it's been fun. I'd spent many more hours, asking, like, really digging deep into different techniques and stuff like that. I really like getting technical, but I'm not gonna bother everybody here. And
We should
Yeah.
do another episode.
They
you're,
get-
you're
totally.
fantastic. Thank you so much.
Well, they got more. The audience likes that too. I know that. They listen carefully what Airspeed has to say. And well, we at the latest will do it again at the Shamrock anyway. Unfortunately, it will be me again probably. Sorry, unless Martina
Why
makes
can't
a
we do
little
one of those
vacation.
online interviews you used to have during,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We may go back to that. Yeah.
So anyway, I wish you good luck in preparation and then in your next competitions, and hopefully, you'll get stronger, you'll get different, exactly as you want it.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.